Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video, we are going to start with the second type of sum in our second part of the video series based on the chapter Fund Estimation in Project. In this video, we are going to learn how to calculate leverages, and along with that, how to calculate EBIT when various EPSs are given to us. Okay, so we're going to learn some new formulas, and based on the new formula we're going to solve some sums. So let us see what is the sums that we are going to cover up in this particular video. Okay, now let us see how to solve the very first sum. Okay, at the start of the sum they will ask us to find leverages, and thereafter there will be a new formula that we'll be using, okay, as discussed earlier. Now we just read the question once. It's given that the well-established company's most recent balance sheet is given. They're giving you the liabilities, they're giving you the assets. After that is given that the company's total asset turnover ratio is 3. Its fixed operating cost are 1 lakh, and the variable operating cost ratio is 40%, meaning variable is 40% of sales. The income tax is 35%. They're asking you to calculate all the 3 types of leverages. And second, that's the most important thing, determine the likely level of EBIT, meaning they're asking you to find EBIT if EPS is rupees 1, rupees 3 and rupees 0. Okay, so let us see how to solve this sum. So we are going to first solve the very first part where they're asking us to calculate the 3 leverages. Okay, now in order to solve leverages, okay, we need to first create the income statement. So we'll note down the income statement ka format first. So I'll just note down this as we need sales less variable cost. Okay, sale less variable cost will give us, I'll just make this line this as, will give us contribution. Less fixed cost will give you EBIT, that is earning before interest and tax. Less interest will give you earning before tax. And in order to find the leverages, I only need you all to solve up to EBIT, because after that I don't need any more things, because they are not asking us to find the earning per share or EPS. For that we'll require. Okay, now the very first thing, sales. Now in the question, if you look, there is nowhere that is mentioned that sales are given to us. Okay, but then they are giving you asset turnover ratio. So now what we'll do here is we'll do a working where we know the formula of asset turnover. So asset turnover is equal to total sales upon total asset. Okay, now if you look in the question, they are giving you total assets turnover as 3. We need to find the value of sale because sales is not given, and total asset, if you add up total fixed asset and current assets, so it comes to 2 lakhs. So our total assets given in the balance sheet is 2 lakhs. So we note down this as 2 lakhs. So when you cross multiply, 3 into 2 lakhs will give you sales. So our sales apparently will be 6 lakhs. Okay, now once we got the value of sale, now I can solve my income statement. So I'll write under sales 6 lakhs. Okay, sales is 6 lakhs. Now in the question is given that variable cost is 40%. So if variable is 40% of sales, so 6 lakhs ka 40% is 2,40,000. I subtracted, I get this as 3,60,000 my contribution. Now fixed operating, they are given you fixed cost as 1 lakh in the question, so we note down 1 lakh. So I get my earning before interest and tax as 2,60,000. Okay, now in the question they are giving you long-term debt, value is 80,000, and the rate of interest on the long-term debt is 10%. So 80,000 into 10%, the value we get is 8,000. So our interest is 8,000. I subtract it, I get my final answer as my EBT as 2,52,000. Okay, once I get these values, now it is very simple to get all the formulas. The very first thing is operating leverage. So we write this as operating leverage is equal to contribution upon EBIT, which is 3,60,000 upon 2,60,000, which comes to 1.38. Second, financial leverage. Now financial leverage का formula is EBIT upon EBT. In our case, EBIT is 2,60,000 and EBT was 2,52,000. Okay, so when you divide, our answer that we should have got would have been 1.03. And lastly, we need to get the combined leverage. So combined leverage is equal to operating leverage multiplied by financial leverage. Once I get the format, now you just have to do the substitution. Operating leverage was 1.38, financial leverage is 1.03. You multiply, we get a final answer as 1.42. Okay, this is the A part of the sum where they ask us to find the leverages. So in this, some sales were not given to us, they had given you asset turnover. So with the help of asset turnover, we found the sales, applied into the income statement format, and then substituted the value into the leverages ka formula. That's part A. Now comes the second part, the most interesting part. In the question, they have told you determine the level of EBIT. They are asking us to find EBIT when EPS is given to us. Under that also, they are giving you three different cases for EPS. One, when EPS is 1. Second, when EPS is rupees 3. And the third, when the EPS is 0. So now let us see how to solve that sum. Okay, now this is the B part. Okay, now in the B part, remember, this is very important. Okay, in the B part, they are asking us to find, we'll do the first part under that. They're asking us to find EBIT when EPS in the first case is rupees 1. Okay, now in order to solve this sum, okay, we need to first note down the formula. So we'll note down EPS is equal to, in bracket, EBIT minus interest into 1 minus the tax rate minus preference dividend, the whole thing upon number of equity share. Okay, now let us see how we can substitute the value in this. EPS is rupees 1, bracket, EBIT I have to find, so I'll keep that as X. Interest, now if you look in the previous, we have already found interest is 8,000, so I'll note down this as 8,000. 1 minus tax rate given in the question was 35%, so it will be 0.35. Since this sum didn't have any preference shares, so there's 0 preference dividend upon the number of shares. Now if you look into the questions given 60,000 equity share of 10 each, so the number of shares that we will have will be 6,000. Okay, after this we will cross multiplier, so 6,000 into 1 is 6,000, bracket X minus 8,000, 1 minus 0.35 will give you 0.65. Okay, so now we just multiply it, so it will be 6,000 is equal to 0.65x minus 0.65 into 8,000 is 5,200. This is minus, when it goes to the other side it will become plus. So 6,000 plus 5,200 is equal to 0.65x. You add up, I get 11,200. So 11,200 upon 0.65 will give you the value of X, which comes to 17,230, which is X, which is nothing but your EBIT in the very first case. Okay, that's the value of EBIT in the very first case. Now similarly, now they told you to again find the value of EBIT. They told you to find the value of EBIT when EPS is rupees 3. Okay, in the question is given that find EBIT when the rupees 1, rupees 3 and rupees 0. So if your EPS is rupees 3, how will you solve it? Again, the formula remains the same, okay? That is EPS is equal to EBIT minus interest into 1 minus tax rate minus preference dividend upon number of shares. Okay, now your EPS is 3, EBIT we have to find, interest was 8,000, 1 minus tax rate was 0.35, there is no preference dividend upon 6,000 shares because the number remains the same. You cross multiply, we get 18,000. Okay, this was x minus 8,000 which comes to and into 0.65. Okay, again the same stuff, so we get 18,000 is equal to 0.65x minus 5,200. Since it is minus, when it goes to the other side it will become plus, so 18,000 plus 5,200 is equal to 0.65x. Therefore when you add up you get 23,200 upon 0.65 is equal to x. Therefore x ka value we will get here is 35,692, which is nothing but my EBIT in the second case. Okay, now similarly we will have to do for the third case. Okay, so I will change the sheet. So I hope everyone understood the first part. It's the same thing, but now there's a third option also available here. So we will just note down the third option. In the third option it is said that find the EBIT when your EPS is 0. Again, EPS is equal to EBIT minus interest into 1 minus tax rate minus preference dividend upon the number of shares. EPS is 0, so it will be x minus 8,000 into 1 minus tax rate, that will come to again 0.65. Okay, upon the number of shares, so we had 6,000 shares, cross multiply, so it will become 0 is equal to x minus 8,000 into 0.65. when you multiply, get x0 is equal to 0.65 minus 5,200. This is minus, when it goes to the other side it will become positive. 5,200 is equal to 0.65x. Therefore x is equal to 5,200 upon 0.65. Therefore x ka value we will get is 8,000. That is nothing but my EBIT in the third case. Okay, with this the entire sum, where in the first part they had asked us to find the leverage, then second they asked us to find various EBIT when various EPSs are given to us, comes to an end. I hope everyone have understood this part. It is a very important sum from the exam point of view. Okay, so this was the very first type of sum, okay, which we were supposed to do. Now in the same order, in the similar formula, that is the EPS formula, we are going to start solving another type of sum where they will ask us to find something called as an indifference point. So let us see how to solve such kind of sum when they ask us to find something called as an indifference point. Okay, with that I hope everyone has understood this. With that we will be ending this video here. Thank you.